The last few days in the NBA world have been a whirlwind of craziness, as not only did the NBA draft go down a few days ago, but free agency officially opened up as well, and players have been signing with new teams left and right. In the midst of all of this, though, another important topic to discuss in the offseason that typically brings on plenty of debate and argument is the creation of lists ranking the players in order of how good they are right now, and starting today, that's exactly what I'll be releasing in my next few videos. I make these ranking videos twice a year, once in the offseason and once midway through the season, because I feel it's important to consistently take all the new information we have and use it to change our opinions as time goes on. Specifically, I will be going through every position, being of course point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center, and I'll be ranking the top 10 players at each position now that the season is over and no more basketball will be played until next fall. We'll be starting today with the point guards, which is one of the most talented positions in the league right now. Before we start though, it turns out about 60% of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so please, if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I'd also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. Before we get into the top 10, I wanted to start with some honorable mentions that just missed the cut, and the players in this category are De'Aaron Fox, Ben Simmons, LaMelo Ball, and Kyle Lowry. Simmons is a standout here who had been firmly in the top 10 for a while, but of course there is no way to ignore his shortcomings against the Hawks in the playoffs this year. He still brings elite defensive impact and his passing and playmaking were still on display, but until he shows more assertiveness when it matters, this is where he'll remain. Then we have a few younger guys in Fox and LaMelo, who I both anticipate will break into the top 10 in the near future, and Kyle Lowry is a veteran who has been a top point guard for years, but he did begin to show some signs of aging this season as the Raptors missed the playoffs, and he's now on the Miami Heat, where he'll be able to settle into more of a secondary role alongside Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Now starting at number 10 on this list and working our way up to the top spot, we have Jamal Murray of the Denver Nuggets. Murray's career prior to this last season was filled with inconsistencies and ups and downs, but something seemed to really click with him in the bubble last year, and that carried over into the regular season this year, where he put up career numbers across the board. His scoring was terrific, he became much more efficient, his decision making was better, and he really was starting to emerge, but unfortunately he tore his ACL, and that put everything on pause. As he continues to recover, he will miss a good bit of time next season, but if he can come back and play anywhere near the level he was at prior to the injury happening, he'll still definitely have a place in the top 10. Next up at number 9, we have Jrue Holiday of the Milwaukee Bucks. When Holiday got traded to the Bucks for a massive haul in the offseason, which was then followed by the team giving him a max contract extension, the move was pretty heavily scrutinized by many as an overpay. But now that the Bucks have solidified themselves as champions and Holiday himself made a massive impact on that success, it has all proven to be worth it. Holiday's elite perimeter defense was massive in the NBA Finals, he embraced the role of the primary ball handler and playmaker to dish out plenty of vital assists, and despite his shot not falling as consistently as he would have liked, he still came through when it mattered, and for all of that, he definitely cracks the top 10. Next up at number 8, we have Russell Westbrook of the Los Angeles Lakers. Westbrook has become more polarizing than ever over the last few seasons, and in both years, he's had some pretty frustrating lows, along with some unbelievably high moments as well. But when the season concluded with Russ being unable to buy a bucket in the playoffs against the Sixers as they got eliminated in the first round, that's been the story with him for a while now. He's still the same triple-double machine he's been since 2017, but the question is always whether or not that ridiculous production is hollow or genuinely impactful. He's still definitely capable of having big-time performances, as good as anybody in the league, but he also still plays as recklessly as anybody in the league at times as well, and that's going to be interesting to see play out now that he's playing alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis in Los Angeles. Up next at number 7, we have Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies. Morant is one of the most promising young players in the league at the moment at the point guard position right now, and after leading the Grizzlies to an improbable playoff appearance where they eliminated Steph Curry and the Warriors in the play-in game, he continued that positive momentum by playing unreal basketball against the Utah Jazz in the first round. The Grizz may have lost that series in 5 games, but every night Morant was giving their defense nightmares, and he even scored 47 points in one of the games. His combination of explosiveness around the basket, speed with the ball in his hands, and touch both inside and out make him tough for even the best defenders to hold in check, and if he's already this good after 2 seasons, imagine where he'll be down the line. Next up at number 6, we have Chris Paul of the Phoenix Suns. People have been anticipating Chris Paul falling off for years now, yet here he is still performing at a high level at 36 years old, coming off of his first ever finals appearance. Now, while the media loves to give Paul all of the credit for the Suns' emergence, that's definitely an overreaction, because he's certainly not the player that he once was, but at the same time, his impact cannot be ignored, and his leadership definitely did rub off on his teammates during that run. The point guard just re-signed a big extension with the Suns, and he still feels as though he's got plenty left in the tank, so despite coming up short in the finals this year, the Suns' window is definitely not closed with Paul back in town. Now starting off the top 5, we have Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks. This postseason was the Trae Young coming out party, as he silenced all doubters and critics, and his impeccable production proved to be able to translate when it mattered most. First, he lit up Madison Square Garden, then he led his Hawks team past the 1-seed Sixers, and along the way, he was putting on a show the entire time. Trae's combination of quickness, craftiness, and shooting from deep, along with his knack for finding the open man and creating tons of easy baskets for those around him, make him one of the toughest covers in the league, and with one playoff run under his belt, he's just getting started with only uphill to go. Next up at number 4, we have Kyrie Irving of the Brooklyn Nets. Irving unfortunately went down with an injury in the playoffs, so he was unable to help his team advance past the second round, but on the year as a whole, he had a phenomenal season. He put up about 27 points per game, while shooting the basketball absurdly efficiently for a player that takes his volume of shots, joining the 50-40-90 club, meaning he made over 50% of his field goals, 40% of his threes, and 90% of his free throws. Irving's never before seen ability to handle the ball at an elite level and get wherever he wants on the court opens up so much for not only himself, but for those around him too. And with him back healthy next season, the Nets should be one of the best teams in the whole league for sure. Up next at number 3, we have Damian Lillard of the Portland Trail Blazers. Lillard has been the face of the Blazers franchise for years now, and despite his ability to heat up in a moment's notice and pile on basket after basket from literally anywhere, it wasn't enough in the playoffs, without appropriate help from his supporting cast. He's been one of the most loyal players in the NBA his entire career, but with so much time left in the offseason, rumblings about a potential move haven't gone away, and he may eventually request a trade to try to compete for a ring. Next up at number 2 on this list, we have Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks. Luka's growth is absolutely unbelievable for a 22-year-old, and his production and pure dominance is unlike any player we've seen this young. He did everything he could in the playoffs against the Clippers, nearly knocking them off, but unfortunately the Mavericks couldn't get the job done in the end. However, you'd be foolish to place the blame on Luka himself. The Mavs' number one priority needs to be to get him a legitimate sidekick in order to take themselves to the next level of contention, because Luka himself is fully ready to go on that front, and we very well may be seeing the early stages of an all-time great here. And finally, at number 1 on this list, we have Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors. Curry has been atop this list for years now, and despite the Warriors having a disappointing season overall, Curry did everything he could individually to try to change that. He was in the MVP conversation after leading the league in scoring and dominating advanced impact metrics, but the team can't afford to miss another year of playoff basketball this upcoming season. Curry is the greatest shooter to ever play the game, so he gets a pass slightly for his team missing the playoffs for now, but they definitely need to rebound next season, or else it will start to impact where he ranks on lists just like this. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below how you would rank the point guards in the NBA today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.